joining us today on Envision. I'm Deanne Conrad, Community Relations Supervisor. Dr. Brian Maher, our superintendent, is joining us today to talk budget. Ew, it's one of my least favorite topics, but unnecessary when looking at an organization of our size, and the amount of work that needs to go in to prepare a budget that is responsible, fiscally responsible, so that we're not overspending, as we know is the case in many other organizations and big governments these days. Right. So the budget process has been months in the making. Seems like we're never done working on it, but we are getting close. We're getting close to having a budget that would be a zero, I guess, a level budget, I guess is what you'd say. So what are some of the priorities coming out in the budget this year?
Well, the first thing I think I have to say is I believe that's the first time you've ever introduced me and not said the new superintendent. Oh. So I must be, I'm a veteran now.
Well, as the taping of this today, it was 1 year ago that you were named superintendent in the Sioux Falls, or offered the job.
At least offered,
least.
yeah.
Well, welcome now. You're not new any longer.
No, I still want to be new though.
Okay.
But the budget, you talked about your least favorite. You know, that is one of the things that we get, I think we think of schools and we think of developing students, et cetera, and we lose sight of the fact that the school district is a large business. And the Sioux Falls School District is the largest, educational business in the state of South Dakota, at least from a K-12 perspective. So the budget is a big thing, and it is a never-ending cycle. It seems like you're either in the middle of a budget, or you're ending a budget, or you're beginning a new budget, or where we are right now, we're developing a new budget as we go through the end of the current budget. So it's a big deal, if you will.
Right.
We have, as you said, we've talked for months about this current or the next budget that we're working on. And in a few short weeks here, or in April, we'll be hopefully ratifying that budget at the board level. So it's a pretty serious time in terms of budgeting process. But one of the things that I really like about the new budget is that I think it's going to accomplish several things. One of those things, and maybe the most significant piece in the new budget, is we're going to be able to compensate teachers better than we have for a long time, maybe ever in the state. So I think that's going to be a good thing, one of the excellent things about the budget. And we're going to have the money to do that because of past or very recently passed legislation.
Right.
So that's a good thing from the budget cycle. Another thing is, as we've developed this year a strategic plan, we're just finishing the design phase of that strategic plan. The community will see that very soon, and we're going to begin the implementation phase of that plan. As I look at the budget, what we're going to fund beyond the increase in teacher pay is some new staffing at the special education level at our earliest at the earliest years.
Sure.
So one of those issues that we want to develop in the strategic plan is improved student achievement. And so I think we're going to be able to do that, or at least we're going to try to do that. Another area where we want to get better at is our graduation rates. We're going to improve the number of opportunities that our students have for some alternative routes to graduation, specifically through the Joe Foss program.
Sure.
So that's going to be funded. I think there are a couple of areas there when you think of graduation rates, student achievement, that will be critical pieces in our strategic plan. Another area in our strategic plan that'll come out is an area of improving behaviors, or at least deal with the escalating behavioral issues that we see in our schools.
Right.
And we're going to be able to do that either through the Joe Foss area or through the special education area. I think we're going to be able to address that issue in both of those fronts. So we're going to be able to do that and not raise your local property taxes, at least not very much. So I think the budget is going to be a fiscally sound budget and really help us address some issues this next year.
Wonderful, and it's taken a couple of months to get through this strategic planning process, but it's been valuable time where we can learn more about even the community perception and what our own data shows us about those key areas that are important for us to address in the next several years.
Right. When you think about it, we had dozens and dozens and dozens of options to consider in the budget, and we narrowed it down to a few. And one of the things we used to narrow it down was, what does the strategic plan say? What are we really after here?
Right.
And I think we were able to accomplish that.
Good. Well, the budget, though it is a daunting task, is a necessary one, and one that we are putting the final touches on. There'll be a preliminary adoption in April with the final adoption then in July. So look forward to more information about the budget. If it's something you love, crunching numbers, there are plenty of numbers there. So thanks for joining us today on Envision.